And of course, they bark. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. And welcome back to
Hi.
Crime Talk with Steph. Hey, Neen. How's it
Hi, Steph.
going?
I'm doing
Yes,
well.
that's
How
me.
are you with that haughty voice over there?
You know what? I'm rocking
Oh,
that, deep voice, and I'm okay. Do you hear my dogs barking upstairs? Hi.
oh, hi,
They wanted
guys.
to say hi and welcome you all to Crime Talk and to say hi to their Thea Neen. They just
Aw.
sense that I'm talking to you. But yeah, I I'm good and I'm so happy to see your face on this,
Hmm.
is it gray outside on this gray and gloomy
Mhm.
Friday, which is a perfect
Yeah,
setting for Crime Talking. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can't
Yay.
complain. Yeah, other than the fact that like my back hurts.
Oh
It's
no.
sore. I don't know why. I think maybe I'm sleeping wrong or
Well,
who knows. I'm 40 something, so.
how's your how's your leg doing for the
Oh.
listeners, tuning in? They probably are curious.
Mm.
It's
You
been
know
a few
what though?
months.
So it has been. So I'm gonna give it till March. And
Okay.
if this shit is the same, then I'm moseying over to my doctor and demanding, like, for real, an MRI. But I've done a lot of research
Okay.
and I purchased a brace specifically for an MCL tear.
Ugh.
And I believe that's what I have because I've been trying to explain, like when you've never had like knee pain
Mm.
or, certain pains that you've never had before, sometimes it's difficult to explain that the type of pain or like feeling you're having. And it's creepy to say, but it feels like when I turn my leg a certain way or do a certain motion, it feels like it's going like this, like it's coming
Yeah.
apart, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how to else to describe it. So when I found these two gentlemen on YouTube that were amazing, who I had looked up when I had plantar fasciitis, and they're incredible.
What I think I know who you're talking about, but keep
Yes.
going.
And
Yeah.
they're like they own they're orthopedic
Yes.
surgeons and they're
Yeah.
just amazing.
They
So
are.
randomly I was in the shower watching YouTube and I'm over there and I'm like, la 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 looking and they come up and they're talking about knee stuff. Well, they went over knee pain, the symptoms you'll feel, the, sensations, and then how to like how a doctor should like analyze it to diagnose what the issue is.
Okay.
They told me what I had, and it's an MCL tear. So they explained that you should get a brace that prevents your leg from moving this way,
Ugh.
right? Because when I move my leg straight or bend it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just when I'm trying to like if I were to kick a kickball with my left leg, I'd scream because it's going the opposite direction.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
your MCL keeps your knee right here from opening. It keeps
Wow.
it to go straight. So I got this brace and the brace it was I don't know the wrong size, but I could put it on, but it just wasn't fitting right. So I got
Okay.
another one. I'm getting it tomorrow, but when I put it on, oh my God, the pain was gone.
The instant relief, right?
Yes.
Wow.
So I told Tony, I said, I'm going to give it 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks with the brace. They
Okay.
said to even wear it to bed
Yeah.
and see if that helps. If so, then I'll be good. If
Okay.
not, then they need to give me surgery or something.
Oh shit. Would you want to do surgery?
If I have to, if it's that bad of a tear, I don't think
Yeah.
it's that bad. So I think just following protocol, according to what I think should be done, and stabilizing my knee to where I can't do that motion so it could heal,
Yeah.
I think I'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Oh my
So,
God. I'm feeling
sometimes you
hopeful
just got
for
to do
you.
what you got to do.
And sometimes you have to go ahead and do your own like advocating. Isn't that sad, everybody?
Yeah, for real.
That we all have insurance, well, not we all, but like we have our doctors and stuff. And sometimes we're just a
Hmm.
number.
Yeah.
So, and I get it
Hmm.
because doctors are overworked, whatever, but like we have to go out and do our own research
Hmm.
and sometimes that works. So I really
Yeah.
hope that this is nearing the end for you because I can
I
imagine you want
hope.
to climb the freaking walls.
Yeah, I do. And I really want to swim this summer. That's what I'm concerned about. I just need to
Yeah.
swim.
Okay. You can't swim right now.
I can't even. No. I don't know if you saw that video I posted when I was at the courthouse the other day. Literally, I told Tony, oh my God, when I walk, when I'm like holding the camera, you could tell I have a limp because it sways the camera. How horrible. I
I'm
look like a penguin.
no, you don't. It's just your
Yes,
little
I
gangsta
do.
walk, your little lean.
For real, I should just own it and I don't know, start wearing like parkas and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Baggy pants and
long, flowing fur coats. Just embrace your pimp
ooh, I
walk.
should. I
Get a
should
cane,
actually.
bedazzle
Okay,
it. I mean, you can
bedazzle
make
it.
it. If
Totally.
anyone could make it work, you can. So I have faith in
Okay.
you.
Hmm. No, maybe I should own
You
it.
should. And then,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God. And I was thinking about Pretzel,
Mm-hmm.
because first of all, she's my favorite kid. But secondly, I've been watching Fuller House.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't warn me about Kimmy sorry, spoilers. The surrogate, I sobbed. And that Christmas episode, and oh my God, like this show is
Isn't it getting
amazing. Why
better?
did it get canceled?
I know. I don't know. Because like I said the other day, it gets better. Each season and episode, it just gets better and better.
Oh my God, I'm such a fan. I don't know why it took so long to like watch it. And then what else? Oh, and then Candace Cameron's figure, like her six pack, like the episode where Steve has like they're doing the happy 2 week
Oh,
anniversary
yeah.
and the thing where she had to run what's that game that she was doing, like what's that word called where you're running around doing oh
A
shoot, it's
relay?
not
No.
a relay, but
Trying to think of. Oh,
sorry, could you hear me?
no, but I just saw you.
Sorry.
That was funny. And Steph's over there yelling at the pups. Um, I'm trying to think yeah, what kind of, what was she doing?
It was like a survivor type of thing.
Oh, I don't remember that, but
It was like oh my God, what's that word where people do like it was like double dare. What the hell was a double dare?
game show?
No, but like the end thing.
Oh, a physical challenge?
Yes, thank you. She was doing why did that take us 5 minutes? She was doing a physical challenge and she shows up because that was
Hmm.
like he was doing one of her favorite shows. So he wanted to like be cute.
Okay.
And so anyways, she shows up and she's like, "Oh, yay." So she like takes off her sweater
Mm-hmm.
and to show off her six pack. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, this girl,
Mm-hmm.
what? Like, she has
I
the
think she does
perfect figure.
Pilates, doesn't
She's got,
she?
yeah,
She does
her
everything.
arms. Oh my God. Like, I was like throwing like cash
Mm-hmm.
at the TV screen. I was like, my God,
Gosh.
she looks
But you know what though? She
amazing.
looks amazing. She has like aged in reverse.
Okay.
She
Yeah,
to me she looks younger than DJ
I agree. I
when she
agree.
was little. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like
Well, because they dressed her like an old, like a
they sure
teacher.
did.
Like a teacher in the 90s. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I just had to
Yes.
say, like, I don't want it to ever end. So I'm enjoying myself. It's
Oh,
a chicken
good.
show. Oh my God.
Yeah. It is. It's so, so good. I love it. Hey, I have a question. Have you by any chance heard any of Shannon Doherty's podcast?
No, I haven't. Should I add that to the
Oh,
roster?
yeah. Oh my God. She is such a light.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
was listening to her, when was it? When we were in Santa Barbara, we were coming back and I was listening to her episode about her funeral.
Oh God.
But it was not depressing. It was very cute because she was talking about it with her best friend. But it brought up a question, and I have a question for you. Like when it comes to your funeral, because it's something people don't talk about, but I really think that, like she said, it should be something that people should. And I don't know if you remember, like a couple weeks ago, I had wrote on my Instagram, I really don't want people there that I don't like, certain people I wouldn't want at my
Yeah.
funeral,
Yeah, you're in
right?
charge of escorting those
Yes,
people out.
exactly.
Okay.
Do
Because
you
I don't
think a
trust.
funeral do you think though that a funeral should be invite only,
Uh-huh.
right?
Absolutely. Why is Jean coming to my like, you didn't like me in
Mm-hmm.
life, bitch? Why are you here crying a tear for me now?
Yeah. And
Get
if you
out.
didn't like me, don't come for my wife or
Oh,
my husband,
exactly.
you
Like
know?
I will come
Why?
back and haunt everybody. Like you are in
Hmm.
charge of that, Neen. Okay.
Okay.
Like if I go first, you're gonna be like
Already?
security and you're gonna know exactly who can be permitted in. And like
That's for damn sure.
yeah, and like then you'll be like, excuse me, hi. No, you're gonna no. And any
Yes.
hoe that's comforting Angel, unless she's
Mm.
Mariska Hargitay, okay, She
on
needs
it.
to exit stage left. Okay, thanks.
You got it. Because I was like, wow. And she was like, she goes, I know a lot of people that are going to go because they feel they have to. And
Right.
honestly, I don't want them there.
No.
And
Uh-uh.
I'm like, amen. And I feel like that should be something that's more normal, especially for me working in the funeral business for a
Yeah.
bit. It's crazy the amount of arguments and disagreements that you would overhear. And I'm like, you always think about like, and even funerals that I have gone to, I'm like, you look and be like, oh, well, so and so hasn't been around for years. And all of a sudden they show up. Or like, it's just one of those things. I feel like for a funeral, it should really only be the people that was in their inner circle or people that they were close with. Don't show up if you haven't seen Clarabelle in like 20 years, you know,
Absolutely. It's the
or to make
fakest.
amends.
It's just
It's
so
too late.
fake. Like you should have done that when the person was alive.
Yeah,
Like
the
you need to
dead.
leave and you need to live with the guilt
Yes,
forever.
exactly. I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a very, but it's cute because and I haven't seen it yet, but she had Jason Priestley on her last one, which I think is adorable.
Oh,
And I think they were talking about like Luke Perry and stuff, but I love hearing
oh.
her voice. Her voice is so like soothing.
She's got a beautiful, I mean,
She
she's just
does.
beautiful.
I could just
So
listen to her for forever. But if you're ever bored and or
definitely. I mean, well, I have a question. So did she call it a funeral or does she call it a celebration of life?
she did. So it was a she mentioned funeral, but she wants it to be a celebration.
So
So she
yeah.
wants it to be a big party. She doesn't want it to be like at a funeral home. She wants it to be she mentioned her house
Yeah.
and she wants everybody that she loves there with like music and
Yep.
just remembering and I think that's how it should be, you
I I
know?
I know somebody that is dying, but
Mhm.
and about a year ago she began planning
Mhm.
her celebration of life.
Mhm.
And but prior to that, she's been traveling all over the world
Oh, I
and
love
posting
it.
these amazing like all over me, Peru, like
Mhm.
everywhere. Okay.
Wow.
And then I just saw the celebration of life. I didn't make it, but
Mhm.
I saw it and the pictures and she had it at a space that was special to her that meant a lot and she's
Mhm.
very involved in dance and performing. So like that was a part of it too.
Uh,
Like, and she didn't call it a funeral. It was a celebration, like, of her. And I
mhm.
just, that is so courageous. I don't know. I would hope that I could do something like that if
Yeah.
I was in that situation. Um, I can't think of anything braver. Like just
Yeah.
staring it right smack in the face, and you're gonna go out doing everything that you love. Like I can't even like that.
Mhm.
And then it makes me so
Exactly.
angry about all these
Mhm.
like diseases that rob these people of
Yeah.
more because they you could
Mhm.
tell like everyone's meant for more. Not to say that
Mhm.
these specific people are, but like
Right.
this person in particular, she's really amazing. Like
Mhm.
there's no
Yeah.
telling what her the next half of her life could be. And
Mhm.
sad. Like so I just really applaud people like her and Shannon Doherty and I don't know, like it's just so like courageous and
It is.
speaks to their character a lot.
Oh, completely. I agree. And I think that, it's one of the things that I talk to Tony a lot about in regards to just like funerals in general. Like,
Yeah.
working in a funeral home, like I told Tony, I said, I don't want to say it's morbid, but a lot of times it's sadness. It's complete sadness. And yes, when it's shocking, it's a young person, it was
Ugh,
untimely, be it as it may, you can't really celebrate under those circumstances, right? It's hard.
yeah.
But for people that know they're going to die, that are sick, and have been sick for a long time, um, I feel like there should be options other than like a depressing funeral home. There should be another outlet for people to go and be like, you know what? I want to plan a party. I want to plan a party for my family when I go. And I want to plan it from beginning to end. I want to tell you all this is what I want, and give people options other than it being this sob fest, even though you're
Right.
going to miss them, but cry happy tears of what you remembered, you know? And I think there should be a little bit more normalcy on making death obviously sad, but also something where you're celebrating someone versus mourning, things, and I
Right.
think it helps too with healing to know that you sent them off in that manner, because
Exactly.
that's what they would want,
Right.
because a lot of times funerals and stuff become what other people want,
Excuse
not
me.
what the deceased would have wanted.
Hmm.
And I just think that it's a different play on it. And I loved how she did it. I love how she's doing it and how she's taking it. Because, I mean, hell, with her and Shannon Doherty's like prognosis and stuff, I mean, she's going strong. She's the epitome of living with
She really
something,
is.
not dying.
And I feel like when she was given, because she's stage 4, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So like, but I feel like she's been living with it for a couple years now, right? With that
Mm-hmm.
at
Yeah.
that stage.
Yeah, for I think she said in like 2022 or something,
Yeah,
she was
something like
diagnosed with
that.
stage 4.
Oh,
So, I mean, and she was handed a freaking horrible deal in regards to like, you know, God, what it was something with her insurance or something that she wasn't approved or whatever,
oh
and
my God.
her diagnosis got delayed and her treatment, and it's just like, thank God though that she has had these many years and she's still going, and I think she's a testament that it's all about mindset too, that of course, like she said, I have my bad days, I don't show it, I'm the kind of person that cries in the shower. And I think though, I had a friend who had breast cancer and she came to work every day like you would never know she was sick. And I do think a lot of times when you're faced with something like that, your mindset and how your mental health really helps in your healing,
Uh-huh.
and I think that if you're going to be, all depressed and sad and obviously sometimes you can't help it,
Right.
but if you change the outlook of it, I feel like your body responds to that too.
Oh, definitely. If you're
And I
all
think
like down and you're gonna feel worse. I mean, but it's
Mhm,
so hard not to. I
of
can't imagine.
course. But I think it's
Yeah.
important when you're feeling like that to let it out. I think
Yes.
we all know those people that don't show emotion for
Uh-huh.
and I think it's important to let people or just let yourself feel,
Yeah.
and then you could pick up the pieces and then move on, and I think she's a true testament to that. And just like, I don't know, she's so inspiring. She really is like, and I couldn't help but thinking, I'm like, okay, who does she not want there? And I'm thinking of the whole cast and all the craziness that just transpired, like the hypocritical part of it. You're going to go because
Yeah,
you want to show face.
exactly. Who
Don't do
did she
me any
have beef with on
favors.
the show? I mean, do we need to do a part 2 to 90210 or what? Like the
I
behind the
know,
scenes.
because I always heard she had a beef with Kelly and Donna.
Oh, the
Like I say their names.
oh,
Um,
Jenny Garth
yeah.
okay. So wow. Okay. Well, that
Hmm.
doesn't surprise me. I feel like, but I also feel like she back when she was younger was kind of like her character on the show.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I heard a lot about that too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because even on Charmed, Alyssa
Yes.
Milano and the other girl, I don't know her name, they
Yeah.
too had a huge beef to where
Yeah.
they supposedly they weren't even talking
Yeah.
and they got her
So
fired. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true, but
so that's all. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll have to look into that and
Mhm.
see what's what. If you hear
I
anything, let me
know,
know.
right? But anyways, I'm excited for Crime Talk today, Steph, and I can't wait to see what you got in your back pocket.
Ooh, well, I'm excited to talk to you too about Crime Talk. So, and it's funny
Mhm.
because I today I want to share a case that I was reminded of whilst watching Fuller House. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
snap.
So, do you remember back in the 90s when Candace Cameron Bure did that Lifetime movie with the ever iconic Fred Savage and his
Ooh.
iconic hair?
Oh man, you know what? I'm trying to think, but please
Let me refresh
remind
your
me.
drink. So,
Yes.
it was about a 14-year-old girl named Stacy who dated a popular jock in high school, where at first everything was all perfect, but then it quickly turned dark. So, the
Mm-hmm.
movie is called No One Would Tell. And it's actually based on the tragic and real life event that took place in August of 91 in Massachusetts. So it's very similar. Like the movie, like it
Mm-hmm.
may take place in, I think it takes place in Dallas or something, and the
Mm-hmm.
names are different. But if you watch the movie and we're going to talk about the case, you're going to be like, damn, it's okay. So they really did a good job of covering it. So
Wow.
That's what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to jump back to the 90s for today's case.
Yay.
And so yeah, I'm excited to do that. But before we get started, let's do some trigger warnings because we're dealing with violence against a woman. Uh and not just a woman, but a teen. Okay, a very
Mm.
young teen, as well as murder. So if this is something that's too heavy for you, we understand completely and we'll just see you on the next episode. Okay. So no prob. But for those of you
Mm-hmm.
that are staying, let's chat. So, Amy Carnevale was born on April 13th, 1977, in Danvers, Massachusetts. Her parents were Cynthia Gill and Michael Carnevale, and she had an older brother named Christopher. When Amy was about 6, her parents divorced, which of course is heartbreaking to kids. I mean, my parents separated when I was 7, and that was like I'm dying inside. Like that's that
Yeah.
age, I can't even imagine. But they adjusted after some time and they were able to get through it and maintained healthy relationships with both of their parents, even though the kids stayed primarily with the mom.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, both of Amy's parents remarried other people, but Amy's mom, Cynthia, and her stepdad would also later divorce a few years later. So that's sad.
Mm.
Um, Amy was described by those who knew her as a sweet and kind person who was super positive, bubbly. She was always able to see the good in anyone she met, much like my angel. Okay. It's a really like rare quality, when
Mm-hmm.
you just
Pure.
can find any little ounce of goodness in somebody. I really
Mm-hmm.
applaud people like that because, girl, okay,
Okay. It's hard to find.
it really is. So, props. And also she had dreams of becoming a hairstylist when she got older,
Aw.
and she would practice giving haircuts to friends and family, kind of like how you did
Aw.
back
I
in the
miss it.
day,
Okay, for
okay?
real.
That warmed my heart when I saw that.
Mm.
Um, at the time of our story takes place, she was 14, so she was
Mm-hmm.
young. She had just graduated from middle school and was getting ready to start freshman year at Beverly High. Ooh,
Ooh.
90210. In middle school, she had actually begun her cheerleading career and had already been offered a spot on the high school cheerleading squad, which is amazing. Like she was like, okay, like I'm about to enter high school. I'm already on the cheerleading squad. Like that's
Wow.
amazing. So she was excited to start this new chapter. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
she's ready and she was so pretty and just really, really just well-rounded kid. She's a
Mm-hmm.
kid. Okay. Um, she also had a boyfriend. She had a boyfriend, a 16-year-old jock, so 2 years older,
Mm-hmm.
16. And his
Wow.
name was Jamie Fuller. Isn't that funny? So like let's
I
just
know,
back
right?
up. Fuller, Candace Cameron, and then a Beverly High. Hi.
That's
Hi,
true.
90s.
Dang.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So Amy and Jamie, oof, that's a tongue twister, had been dating off and on for 2 years, which would make her 12 when they first started their relationship. They had met through some friends, and at first things were good, as most relationships are when they start out. But pretty quickly, it was apparent that not everything was all sunshine and roses. Many of their friends described their relationship as toxic, yet passionate, which is
Hmm.
not a really good combo, okay?
Yeah, for real.
Uh-uh. And a lot of these so-called friends shared that Jamie was abusive towards Amy, yelled at her, insulted her, shoved and grabbed her roughly, not caring who was around to see. He was also very controlling and possessive of Amy and forbade her from having any male friends. Now, I don't know why Amy's friends or even Jamie's friends didn't interject and tell someone. Like
Yeah, for
he's
real.
doing this in front of who he didn't give a shit who was around. He's gonna
And
like
see,
shove her, yell at her.
and
Like
that's scary. She's only 14.
she's only 14. And when you're 14, you don't necessarily know like,
Yeah,
how
you're
to
so impressionable and
act.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. Ugh, that's
So
sad.
yeah, so nobody would tell. And this would unfortunately come back to haunt everyone later. And
Mm-mm.
haunt they should be to this day.
Yeah,
So
for real.
before we proceed, I want to ask you a little cue.
Hmm.
Let's pretend we're back at Mercy. Okay. We're, God, how many years ago was that? Let's go back 20 plus years. We're freshmen. Okay. I meet a senior. I'm over the moon. I'm like gaga. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Like, remember how I was with Jason at the coffee bar? Like that,
Oh,
like
yes.
stupid. I would do anything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then so we're like dating. Ooh, I'm so excited. I'm wearing his Letterman jacket, right? Like I'm painting the whole
Ooh la
picture.
la. Mm-hmm.
And but let's say we're hanging out. He's there, and you see him yell at me
Mm-hmm.
or shove me or
Oh,
touch me
hell no.
roughly. What would you
Mm-mm.
do? Being a teen yourself, being a
Okay.
teen, and you're moon faced over Peter.
Mm,
Okay.
man.
So we're there hanging out with our cute, like, booze,
Mm-hmm.
and mine is being a total douche to me and like throwing me around, and you're sitting there seeing this. Peter's not saying squat, and you're like, what would you do?
Loser. Oh, hell no. I would go up to your boo and be like, what the F is wrong with you? Back off. And then I'd get you and we'd walk off. And then I'd be like, no, you are not allowed to be with him anymore. That is not okay.
Oh my
Like,
God.
and totally grill you for it in a loving manner, as I normally would. But I definitely would have had my 2 cents with that idiot.
Right? And even
And I'm like,
being
back the F
14,
off.
like
Yeah.
even being young. Okay. I think so too. I
And I
remember
would
how
talk
we
to it's even I would talk to you at this point, I would talk to your parents because I would be
exactly.
concerned.
Thank you. I totally think that anyone, a friend would go to somebody's parent if they didn't feel comfortable
Yes.
talking to their friend. Because who knows? Maybe like, she was so in love with him, like nobody could say anything.
Hmm.
But as far as I could tell,
Exactly.
nobody said shit. So I don't think anyone tried talking to her, but I would do the same thing. So it's just
But her
sad
and her parents knew that she was
that
in
he,
this relationship.
yes, yes, they did.
But they didn't know
Uh,
the extent.
uh-huh, exactly. Well, we don't know. So
Mm.
yeah, so this is annoying, and people are just watching this. And one other thing I wanted to mention is that Jamie also had a criminal record. In 1990, when he was only 15, he had been arrested on two separate occasions for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was actually on parole when he began dating Amy. But who
Mm-mm.
knows if she even knew that? Okay,
Yeah.
'cause, like he could have kept that under wraps and not
And I'm
said
sure he
anything.
did. Because, see,
Yeah.
that would scare me. That would be enough for me to hightail it out of there.
Uh-huh. Like,
Unless I'm like, oh, I've changed. You know what I mean?
and then
Which,
yeah, no, clearly, I mean, this guy had serious anger issues.
mm,
So yeah, like we said, I don't know if Amy's parents were aware of his past or if they knew, how he was, like his abusive behavior towards their daughter now, but I'm guessing they weren't clued in. I mean, why would they
mhm,
allow their young daughter to hang around somebody like this? Like,
yeah.
I just don't know. So, uh-huh. But anyways, Amy and Jamie, they had a pattern of breaking up and getting back together and breaking up and getting back together and so on. It was like a freaking merry-go-round, okay? And in August of 1991, they happened to be broken up at this point. And it appeared that Amy was done. She was done for good. Like it looked promising, like she wasn't going to
Mhm,
take his ass back. On Friday, August 23rd, 1991, it was a normal day for Amy, who had field hockey practice in the late afternoon. She went to practice, and annoyingly, Jamie shows up unannounced.
hell
Yeah,
no.
like a pimple. He's there. And after practice, they got into an argument that was witnessed by several people. So peeps saw this. Remember that. Amy
Mm,
leaves on her own and heads to her friend Diane's house where she had been staying. And quick interjection. So I mentioned that Amy's mom and stepdad had split up. It
mhm,
was around this time and they were in the process of getting a new place to live. So like in the interim, Amy was staying with friends and the mom was like, they were just split up for a little bit, like bouncing around from house to house. So, and then one other thing that I learned that was kind of like, excuse me, Diane, so the friend that she was staying with, was actually Jamie's ex-girlfriend. Uh-huh. And I don't know how they became homies. I don't know. I don't know at all. I don't know if Jamie was cool with his new girlfriend staying with Diane.
mhm.
Um but that was, they were friends and she was staying at her house. And apparently Jamie, we're going to learn this later, he wasn't very good to Diane either. So Put that in your brain
Wow.
for later. Okay,
What a hot mess express. Okay.
for sure. So, um, so Amy gets to Diane's and she's annoyed, and her phone starts blowing up with phone calls from Jamie, like nonstop. And he didn't stop until Amy answers. So she finally answers, and Jamie's on the other end, like saying, "Come on, just meet with me real quick. We can talk. Like, I just want to talk to you. I just want to see you." He had not been happy about their breakup, and he wanted her back. Like, he's like pissed that they're broken up. Okay.
Mm,
But Amy was like, no, I'm not gonna, no, like we're done. Like, I don't want to see you. But
mm-hmm.
unfortunately, Jamie used a pretty good tactic to get her to meet him. He asked her to give him a haircut. Like, oh, can you just cut my hair?
Oh,
And she liked to practice on people. And so that kind of was like,
that was
okay.
her.
Yeah.
She,
And
she was like,
also,
okay.
yeah, but also she probably wanted to see him too. Like, when
Mm-hmm.
you break up with someone freshly, like you want to see them.
Right.
No matter
Yeah.
you,
And
even if they were
exactly.
assholes. So
Mm-hmm.
she was like, okay. And she's like, I'll go quickly and give him a haircut. Thank God she told Diane where she
Mm-hmm.
was going. And she actually told her mom too. So she called her mom. She's like, Mom, I'm going to go meet Jamie. I'm going to give him a haircut. I'm going to come right back home. So two people knew who she was going to go see. Okay.
Thank God.
After a few hours, Amy did not come home. Okay. And she didn't call, and no one could get a hold of her. Her parents were
No.
worried sick, and Amy's dad called the police to report his daughter missing. At first, the police were like, oh no, she probably just ran away. That's always their thing when it involves like a teen. Like, oh, they just ran
Mm-hmm.
away with their boyfriend. But thank God her family insisted that she would not do this. And she also left her stuff behind, her wallet, like all her shit. She left with just her car key, like to go.
Dang.
So thank God the police listened and began to look for Amy. And their first stop was a visit to Jamie Fuller, since Diane and the parents were like, she said she was going to go to Jamie's house. Side note, everybody, this is exactly why you tell someone where you
Yeah.
are going and who you are going to see.
See?
Okay?
Mm,
Remember that. Even if it gets
dang.
weird. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to Starbucks with whatever, like, oh, I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah.
Tell somebody. Okay.
Especially if you do those dating apps.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
if we're taking it to current time, like just always tell people where you are.
Yeah.
Someone,
Yeah.
a
Anyone.
text.
Yeah. Just put it out there.
She was smart.
She
So,
was. So thank goodness.
do you think she had an inkling just in case?
Not about what was gonna happen. I don't think so.
Dun. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The plot
So
thickens.
yeah. So the police, they're like, okay, let's go see this Jamie Fuller kid. They roll up on Jamie, who acted all, what? No, I haven't seen Amy. What are you talking about? And
Hell
he looked
no.
he looked calm, answered all the questions he was asked, and even joined in the search parties to look for Amy. What?
What a loser.
The police didn't feel any weirdness coming from him. I mean, he was full on cooperating and helping, and he was even consoling Amy's friends and family, telling them she's probably okay and will be home soon. This asshole. The police searched high and low for Amy because they didn't have any other leads. So like, okay, this kid hasn't seen her. Okay, they must have been mistaken. Maybe she left and then something happened to her on the way. So like they're like, okay, let's just keep looking. They could not find a trace of Amy anywhere. Everyone was stumped
Wow.
until a few days later. So on Wednesday, August 28th, 1991, the police received a tip from an anonymous caller who told them that Amy's body could be found in a shoe pond located near the United Machinery Shoe Company. I don't know why they call it a shoe pond. I couldn't find any info. Like, I just imagine, like, okay, so it's a shoe company. Do they throw old shoes in
Bunch of
there? Like, I don't know.
shoes.
Yeah, but it's a shoe pond. And before they went to investigate this tip, the police were like, we need to find out who this caller is because they clearly are involved and we need to get them in here ASAP. So they were able to quickly like figure out that this caller was a 19-year-old Michael Mallet, who just so happened to be a friend of, you guessed it, Jamie Fuller. Once they figured this out, Michael agreed to go meet with the police because, hi, the jig is clearly up. and he spilled all the details. I mean, he left no stone unturned.
Dang.
Yeah.
Really?
And thank goodness for a guilty conscience. I mean, if we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do any thinking, although I'm not gonna be thanking him for very long. So
Oh no.
Michael shares that on August 22nd, the day before Amy's disappearance, Amy had gone to hang out with friends at the beach. Girl and guy friends, which, as you may recall, was a big no-no in Jamie's head, though, hello, they were broken up. Jamie was not at this hangout, but he somehow heard about it and heard how there were guys there, and this pissed him off. I mean, how dare Amy defy him, right? So he was so pissed that he straight up told his friends that he was going to kill her. And he meant it. Like the next day after, okay, so the day that she
Wow.
went missing,
Waste no time.
yeah, he was like, he told his friends again, I'm going to murder her today. Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah. And
Wow.
apparently, this occasion wasn't the first time that Jamie announced to Peeps that he was going to kill Amy. He had actually started talking like this to his friends for over a year. Let me say that again. He
And no
announced,
one said anything?
yep, he told his
Sorry.
friends, I'm going to kill her. Nobody, these fuckers didn't do a damn thing. They didn't
What
warn
would you
Amy.
do? What would you do if I said that
I would
about
tell
someone?
everybody.
Yes. And would you, I mean,
I
okay,
would check your
you're my
ass.
best friend.
I would
Thank
be like, you need to
you.
shut up. And then I would tell everybody to make sure.
Wow.
The hell?
Mm-mm.
No,
Hell
but
no.
these guys didn't do that. They didn't warn her. They didn't call the police. They didn't call her parents. They didn't tell a friend. Nothing. So I hope they rot too. And the police straight up asked Michael, why didn't you do anything to stop this or call the police? And Michael's response was he was just scared shitless of Jamie. He was scared. Okay. So let's go back to the day of the murder. So Jamie gets Amy to come over under the whole haircut pretext. When she arrived, she noticed that they weren't alone. Four of Jamie's friends were there too. So it was a Dominic Sciola, Mark Demule, Michael Mallet, who was the caller, and Scott Ward. And all four of these teens were well aware of the plan and how Jamie was going to murder poor Amy. They all were sitting there knowing that this poor girl was going to be dead in a few
Oh God.
hours. Jamie had even showed them the knife he was going to use to stab
Oh my
her.
God, stop it. This is too much.
No.
Wow.
So Amy gets there. They kick it for a minute. They're like, oh, hey, what up? I don't know. I think she gave him the haircut, but I don't know. So they get there, chill, and then they decide to go for a walk. They decide to go for a walk in the woods, which is awful. I guess the woods were close to this house. Um, Amy and Jamie walk a bit ahead, and the friends hang back, walking a bit slower behind. This is according to the friends, though. Okay, they say that that's how the group kind of split up. The friends
And when
all
people go to
claimed,
the woods, it's never good.
no, the friends claimed that they couldn't see anything either because they were
Mm.
just too far ahead. Okay, so remember that. So that's their claim. Um, so Amy and Jamie are up ahead. And all of a sudden, Jamie took out the knife and showed it to Amy, who, of course, freaked out and tried to run away. He catches up to her, puts his hand on her mouth, and told her that he loved her. And then he stabbed her. He stabbed her a total of 10 times in her back, chest, and stomach. She survived the stabbing and again tried to run for her life, but Jamie stopped her, grabbed her by her hair, and
No.
slit her throat with the knife. Jamie's
Ugh.
friends would later state that they didn't witness this attack as they allegedly couldn't see anything, but they did state that they heard the entire thing, including Amy's screams. And yet they still did nothing. So
Wow.
after Jamie slits Amy's throat, she falls to the ground. She was still alive, but barely, and looks up at Jamie, who is just standing there looking at her. And she tells him that she loves him, which for whatever reason set him off again. And he began to stomp on her face, which was what ultimately killed her.
Whew.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, that was rough.
That's awful.
After the murder, Jamie walks up to his friends who were waiting, and he said, and I quote, "It is done." Then they all go back to Dominic's house where Jamie cleaned the blood off of him. He was covered in blood. They all drank Kool-Aid, and Jamie laughed at how it, quote, "looked like blood." Later, and
Would
also, I
it,
mean, this is not like when this happened, this was during the day. Remember, she had practice. It was, I mean, maybe not day, maybe evening. Like it was
like
still light
dusk?
out.
Uh-huh.
Like, so
Yeah.
so they go back to this house and he washes off. And then when it got darker out, Jamie and Michael, okay, the tipster, remember that. Jamie and Michael returned to the woods armed with supplies and retrieved Amy's body. They wrapped her in garbage bags and put it in Michael's car to dispose of it in another location. They drive for a bit and then pull up to a nearby fence where they toss her body over it like it's trash. They
Wow.
could hear her bones when her body hit the ground. And Jamie had the audacity to say, and I quote, "Don't break on me." He's a fucking evil piece of
Wow.
shit.
Mm-mm.
Like, joking the whole time. They go over the fence and retrieve her body again and took it over to the shoe pond I mentioned before. And they tied some cinder blocks to weigh her down. And then they just tossed her in. And as if we couldn't hate this guy anymore, while they watched her body go under the water, Jamie said, "Sucks to be you, Amy." Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm so annoyed.
And then
Oh,
so they're still
it
standing
can't
there.
even get
I
worse.
know.
I
Michael told police that Jamie took out Amy's necklace from his pocket and he wipes it clean of the blood. It's covered in blood. And he put it on. This is some serial killer type of shit right there. Okay. He
yeah,
kept a
damn.
trophy of what he had done. And then he told his friend and later on the other friends when they got back together that if anyone ever said anything to anyone about what he had done, he would kill them. So, like, this
Dang.
just shows us that he would have no qualms about doing this again.
Of
Like
course.
the necklace, the laughing, the no, he was on the path of like he's gonna do this again. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, completely. Oh,
So Michael then took the police to the pond and showed them where they had dumped Amy's body. After police searched for a bit, they found her, which then her poor parents had to identify. And they were able to identify because she was still dressed in the same clothes. I guess her mom had seen her that day. So
mm,
it was easy
so
enough to
sad.
identify her. And there was more heartbreaking news. Jamie's friends told police that Amy was pregnant, and Jamie was furious and wanted her to get an abortion. He even offered to pay his friends to punch Amy in the stomach to get her to miscarry and told them that he would murder Amy if she did not get the abortion. When the autopsy was performed on Amy, however, there was no sign of pregnancy, so it appeared that she had listened to Jamie and had gotten the abortion after all. So that like tore me up. Like I was like, "Oh my
Yeah, for
God."
real. Is there proof that she got the abortion, or is this just an assumption, do you think?
It's an assumption. Like the ME was
From
like,
what they
yeah,
gotcha.
they didn't debunk the pregnancy, so I think that they could tell like she had
Mm-hmm.
had the abortion.
Wow.
So after all of this, Jamie was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. During his arrest, he was just smirking. Okay, he had this little smart ass face on that you just wanted to punch off. And there are photos of him smiling like he just won a pie eating contest. Okay. Like this
Swear.
motherfucker. It was just completely unreal. And it honestly, it gives me Richard Allen Davis vibes, flipping people off in the courtroom. You know, that whole thing. Like that's
Oh
what it made me
yeah.
feel like
That's
total,
freaking
like
creepy,
the devil.
asshole.
Okay.
Yeah. No
Um,
soul.
none whatsoever. And so Jamie was questioned about his involvement, and he pretty much denied everything, and he even had the audacity to try and pin Amy's murder on his friends. Yeah, he was like, they did it. Um, and actually, one of his friends also ended up getting arrested and charged as an accessory after the fact, so after the murder. And that was the tipster, Michael. So it came out that Michael had been talking and joking about hiding Amy's body. So, like, clearly he put himself there. There was no denying it. Um, so I guess that went ahead and showed the world that he wasn't too scared of his good old buddy Jamie, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, so he got arrested. As for the other three losers, they were actually let off. I'm gonna say that again. They were let off. Not even a slap on the
What?
wrist.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh.
For just sitting there and knowing that he's going to do this and they didn't get nothing?
Yep.
I'm
They were let
pissed.
off because investigators could not find tangible evidence to link them to the murder, which is incredibly wild. As you just said, they were there, they were aware of the plan. But I guess back in the 90s, knowing wasn't enough, I guess. So, yeah. So they're just a bye. They're like, have fun, have a great life. They're living right now. Okay. So Jamie, he goes to trial where he is tried as an adult for his crime, even though he was only 16. And let me just applaud
Good.
the court system for doing this, because can you imagine if they just sent this lunatic to juvie just
Right?
because of his age? So
Mm-hmm.
thank God that something was done right. So
Yeah, finally.
yeah. So Jamie pleads not guilty to the charge of murder. And his lawyers, their argument was, oh, he did this because he's an alcoholic. So I guess he drank a lot. And he also took steroids to bulk up. So remember, he's a jock. And before he started his like jock career, he was like scrawny.
Ugh,
So he took up
loser.
weightlifting, and then he also started taking steroids. So
Mm-hmm.
we've all heard the term roid rage, right? Especially in the
Mm-hmm.
90s, it was a thing. So
Yeah, big
this
time.
this probably could have worked because that affects your well-being. Um, but the prosecution had a pretty solid case against him. And that is Jamie murdered his girlfriend out of pure jealousy. This boy had clear issues. He was controlling, angry, abusive. And when he heard that his ex girlfriend was hanging out with guy friends, he lost it. They were not together anymore, and he was still trying to control her life. And one thing I want to point out, I read somewhere in a couple things that he actually didn't really even want to be with her anymore, but he didn't want her to be with anyone else. It was
See?
that whole like, well, I don't
Mm-hmm.
want her, but no one else gets to have her though. So,
What a
yeah.
sick and twisted. And
He,
how crazy. He's only 16. To have
yes.
these type of psychotic like tendencies is mind-blowing.
I
Ugh,
literally
wow.
lost my mind when I read that. I was like, you didn't even want to be
Mm-mm.
with her. Okay. So, oh, and this is great. All of his homies and other people all testified against him. So, like, all of this was like the prosecution's case. It was solid as a freaking rock. Okay. So,
Wow.
the trial itself lasted 7 days, with the jury taking 6 hours over the course of 2 days to deliberate. And they came back with a guilty verdict. Thank the Lord up above. So, on October 23rd, 1992, Jamie was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Hold on, though. In 2013, the Supreme Court ruled that life sentences without parole were, quote, unconstitutional for teenagers. This decision actually made Jamie eligible for parole in 2019, but
Mhm.
thankfully his petition was denied.
Thank
So
God.
his ass remains behind bars at MCI Shirley in Shirley, Massachusetts. I hope he's rotting in hell, okay?
Mm-hmm.
As for
Damn.
Michael, he had his trial separately and also pled not guilty. The same friends testified against him as well. So he was found guilty. but he was only sentenced to 2 years in prison for his role in the murder. And that, everybody, is the horrendous and tragic case of Amy Carnevale. So if you
Mhm.
haven't seen the movie that I talked about earlier, No One Would Tell, find it because it's such a good movie. In fact, I'm seeing people share it on TikTok,
Mhm.
also like little clips, and it was like hard to watch. Like all these cases that we talk about or we hear about are hard, but for some
Mhm.
reason when it's domestic violence, when it involves
Yeah.
that, it really like it haunts me. It's
Mhm.
just oh, so it was so well done and it got her story out. And I don't know what good came from everything that happened to her. I don't.
Mhm.
But and I wish that I could say like when he stabbed her, that was it, but poor
Mhm.
thing was still alive.
Yeah.
Um, and his face was the last face she had to see. It's just horrible. And I pray that her family is doing, a little better every day. I mean, now we're in 2024, but like, how do you ever recover from such tragedy? This was
Yeah.
just unnecessary tragedy. And
Mm. Sure was.
yeah, and
God.
I'm glad he's still locked up because he would have clearly done this again.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, even looking at his picture now,
Yeah, he's awful.
he looks evil. He has, and there's like a certain, like we said, there's a certain look that some of these people have, and he has that, that blankness in his eyes.
Yep.
And it's just so sad that she had to go through with this, but I guess it's more infuriating to me just I don't know, the other people that knew that this was going to transpire. And I know it was a different time, but I mean, I guess, yeah, guilty by association, or, you know what I mean? Just knowing, I guess they could say, oh, we didn't think he'd actually do it, but I mean,
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, how many times have we said, "Oh, I just want to kill them," like blah, blah, blah.
right.
I mean, but he had been like obsessively talking. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna say it more than once about somebody
Mm-hmm.
specifically,
Yeah,
look into it.
exactly. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't like, I'm gonna kill that bitch. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
totally random. He looks like the type of person, like you said, was dead serious.
Yeah.
Like you could feel it that he wanted her dead, right? I just think it's so sad, and I think that's like, not to say that this happens to like young people all the time because it doesn't, but I think this is a good reminder to parents too to be aware. Like this happened in the 90s, and
Yeah.
kids nowadays are a lot more advanced, a lot more mature, or so they think nowadays, especially now with social media, especially now with people having cell phones and allowing your children to have cell phones, your teens, whatever. And there's a lot more access to things, a lot more opportunities for kids to be more vulnerable or susceptible to just bullying, harassment. I mean, you name it, right?
Mhm.
Like these things open that door. And hell, when we were her age, I wasn't thinking of a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we had crushes. Yeah, we liked someone, but it wasn't like these deep invested relationships.
And if you remember, like she got into this relationship when she was 12.
Yeah.
So like you're not even like that's look at Pretzel. I'm sorry.
I
Like,
can't even imagine it. Like, to me, I feel like I feel like these movies should be part of like parenting classes
yeah,
for parents to scare the living shit out of them.
I agree.
That boys or girls, whatever, because girls could be crazy too, um, can be very controlling. And, like you're learning more about yourself, you're becoming more sexually like in tune with your feelings. And when obviously they were sexually active, they don't
Yeah.
know how to handle those huge emotions. Like, imagine how we were when we first became sexually active and how attached we were. Now imagine
Yeah.
a 14, 12-year-old dealing with those emotions.
I
You know, you
can't.
think like, oh my God, I'm gonna get married. Like a ridiculousness. And I
Yeah.
just don't think that, like, unfortunately, he was a nut, but I don't think her parents either were too invested in her life, not, or maybe she made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal,
I'm thinking that.
and I think parents just need to be aware of what your kids are doing and who they're doing things with,
Yeah.
because I'm sorry, like one thing with my mom was just, okay, you don't have time for boys, you need to study, you
Mm-hmm.
know? I mean, I had my crushes and stuff, but definitely boys weren't at the top of my list,
Yeah.
you know? And kids are crazy. I mean, they can be. And especially, I feel like, when you think of this case too, I think that when he first went through his stuff in the beginning, like that previous, crime, or what is it, charge that he had prior,
Yeah. The two.
yeah. Did he not go through therapy, like anger management classes? Like, did they even have that as an option back then? Like, I hope that the judicial system, I know that they offer those things now. I don't know how it was then, but it's clear that, I mean, even looking at his picture during that time, like I'm looking at this photo of him with her, but he's in court, and the way he's standing, he stands with
Yeah.
such arrogance.
He just didn't think he did anything wrong. Anything. Like
Filthy.
that. Yeah, he's disgusting. I really, really hope that now as an adult, and that's the only thing he can think of, and that he is haunted by what he did that night every single day for the rest of his life. That's the only like hope that I could. And he was 16 when he was thrown in the can, or 17 maybe, but like
Hmm.
um that's his whole adulthood is spent behind
Yeah.
bars. So
Uh,
hope it was worth it, asshole.
Yeah, exactly. I hope so. I don't know.
I
I don't even know what to say anymore because
know.
that's horrible. And honestly, like Lifetime movies, they do really good jobs depicting these scenes and these things, like, overall. Um, but that, I must say, those type of movies where they're actually like showing that the scene, it's just like the one with Tori Spelling where she's
Oh,
that
the
one,
cheerleader.
like, yes, like those, just, I don't know why, but they really hit
They
me.
don't make them like they used to.
No, they were brutal back in the
Yeah,
day.
I love me some Lifetime movies because
Oh,
they're typically about like real life events. Hello, Lifetime. And
mhm.
they do such a good job of covering it. Like they
Oh,
really
they
do.
do. Have you ever seen, there's one called The Tracy Thurman Story? It's with Nancy McKeon from Facts of Life, A Cry
Heck
for
yeah.
Help.
Yep.
Holy shit, I still remember that. That was so sad and terrifying. I
Yeah.
still remember the scene of her getting stabbed. Like I it
Oh,
I could hear it. Like in my
oh,
mind, it was so brutal what they showed.
yeah.
But I must say those kind of movies kind of makes you think,
They really do.
and they put a bigger spotlight on things. And I think one of the things that this episode shows us is that to be aware, look out for your friends, stand up for your friends. If you see that there's something not right, say something. If you know that they're going to get defensive, then let someone else know, like a family member,
Yeah.
you
That is true.
know? Always have your guard up. Like, and if you're going to get defensive about a friend that's concerned about you, well, you know what? Screw off. I'm still going to have your back, because a lot of times when you're in these situations, you can't see clearly,
No, not at all. They know
and it could save your life.
exactly. And also always tell people where you're going and who you're going to be with. Like
Hmm.
just let
Always.
somebody know.
It doesn't even matter. Even if you're a single person and you're going to be selling something on Facebook Market, tell someone, hey, someone's coming over to pick up whatever.
Yep. That's
Don't
it.
do it at your house if you can get past that.
Exactly.
But always say something. It's just like people when they go for like on a date, or they're in an Uber with a weird person and they're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
this is my Uber." you know, this is a screenshot just in case. You just never can be
Oh
too safe.
no. I share my ride with Angel every
Mhm.
ride I get in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because you just never know. Mm-mm.
Exactly. No.
Well done, Steph. That was a riveting episode of Crime Talk. I loved it. Oh my gosh. But
Oh,
it's very disheartening, but
it is.
awesome. Awesome
Thank
job.
you. Thank you so much for being here with me. And thank you everybody for listening. And I hope you guys, I hate saying I hope you enjoyed today's episode. So never mind. Let me just say thank you for listening. And if
Absolutely.
just a reminder, if there's any case that you would like for us to cover, go ahead and give us a DM on at Totally 90s Podcast. Thank you.
And
But
congrats, Steph. Congrats. You made it through the whole session without coughing.
I know. Yay.
So, yay.
Yay.
Hope
And
next time
finally,
you're
I know,
clear of this.
seriously. I was just about to say, like, we made it through without puppies barking, but never mind. They know that I'm about to log off.
Yeah, and
So,
mine were barking, so and it wasn't my toes. Anyways.
well, thank you so much, everybody. Happy Friday. And until next time, catch you on the flip side.
Peace out, buddies. Stay safe.
Stay weird. Bye.